Well, for more on this, Minister of State of the Department of Health, Alex White, joins us in studio. Minister, there's just no way of convincing doctors that you're robbing Peter to get Paul. And Peter, in this case, is discretionary medical cards to those who are ill, who actually need them, to give them to non-means tested children under 6 who may not need them at all.
We're putting up €37 million, which is new money into the system for this scheme. It's not been taken from any other sector, any other part of the health service or for the medical card scheme or anywhere else. So it's new money that's set aside for this scheme.
New money from where? That's new money in the context of cutbacks, and the HSE is making cutbacks in other areas. So this new money is really going in to fill the gap on cutbacks that are being made in other areas. What you're saying is that the new money you're getting, you're ring fencing for the under 6 medical cards at the same time as cutbacks are being made on medical cards for people who need them.
At the same time as we're doing that, we're also actually seeking to reform the system and introduce this universal access to GP service, which, by the way, the IMO and all the representative bodies have been agreeing with for years. Even some of the people in the Foxhole, they're all for
what their concern is that the money you are getting, the fresh money you are putting in for the under 6 card, is being saved on the other side of things.
But
the reason that the fresh money exists is because cutbacks are being made in the health service to meet those targets.
That, of course, is completely untrue.
Well, what she's saying is there are more deserving cases. There are people with children with Down syndrome who are presenting at GP surgery saying, my child doesn't have a medical card anymore.
But the problem
is, reason why doesn't that child have a medical card anymore? Because it's been taken off them.
No, the reason why a child doesn't have a medical card is because its parents are above the income limits. Because we have an income system in this country. We've had it since 1970. We have a means-based system for medical cards. We don't have a system where we can give medical cards to people for particular illnesses. But the access.
Do you personally have no view on whether a child with Down syndrome and all the attendant health complications that may come with that condition, do you have personally no view as to whether that child is more deserving?
How could anybody say that a person isn't deserving? The point is, though, that what we have is we have a system.
But you just said it there. You said the reason they're not deserving is because their parents are over the income limit.
Don't put words in my mouth now. What I said was that the system that we have, I don't decide on the question of deserving or not deserving. We have a system in place. But you're deciding on the allocation
of resources, and the allocation of resources is going down the road of a universal benefit.
There's a law. And the law says that medical cards are assigned to people on the basis of means and the means of their parents. So you could have some people who have medical conditions, children included, who have medical conditions whose parents are quite wealthy or relatively wealthy. They won't get a medical card. We can get away from this argument about the deserving and the non-deserving.
When we were all talking about this over the last couple of months, indeed, I think it was from January on really that became a very heightened issue with the media coverage and so on. You said there's no such entity as a discretionary medical card.
Yeah. There's no difference between a card granted on discretionary grounds and a card granted on normal grounds. There's no difference. They're both granted on means on the basis of means. That the only difference is that if you have a medical condition or an illness, you can include in the means test expenses that are associated with the illness.
But you did say over and over again there's no such thing as a discretionary medical card.
What I meant by that, that's been represented in a way that it's sort of being dismissive. But if you can't succeed in the means test, but you have an illness or a medical condition, you can come back again. You can say, look, I have these extra expenses here that are associated with this illness. And if you succeed then, they exercise discretion.
Card.
Yeah, but it gives you the exact same benefits as the medical card. There's a big issue. At the moment, we have an awful lot of people children included, who can't get a medical card, but they have a real medical need. Like they have a genuinely serious medical condition or medical need. It's a serious problem that people who are above the limit, now sometimes maybe even substantially above the limit, they have a genuine problem because they have a child. I mean, which of us would? I mean, a sick child, or maybe the person themselves is ill or has a medical condition, and they have. So what was happened during the week was what the government decided was, can we try to bring into the system a regime by which we can actually award medical cards on the basis of medical condition or medical illness, as well as the mean system that we have at the moment.